Hi guys, Eric with Graybeard Gardening here in Portland, Zone 9A or maybe 8B depending on where you're at in Portland. It's April 12th today, Sunday, and we've got a little bit of drizzle all day. This is like typical Portland weather and just cleared up enough for us to go ahead and do a video here. But I've just received more seeds yesterday from Burpee, and so I am about to get those going. Same process as we had before. We're going to be using the Root Riot. But anyways, let's get down to it. We've got several seed packets here today. I got a Better Boy hybrid. I just bought it from Ferry-Morse. I don't usually buy a ton from them. But at this point, we're gonna go ahead and run that, and I'll probably find another Better Boy somewhere else. It was just the first one that I saw, and I just grabbed it because I wanted to make sure I had it planted. We're gonna try to get these done real quick because I don't want the rain soaking up all of my leftover seeds either. Ooh, these are pretty seeds. Oh, they're probably, okay, I see. These are probably seeds that have been coated so that you can actually see them and handle them, because they're most likely so small, but we'll see. I'm gonna do 2 in each hole like every time I do this. And I'm only doing 3 plugs here because I'm not leaving a whole lot of space for the Better Boy this year. I'm really growing it for my best friend who said that my dad grew 2 tomatoes about 4 or 5 years ago, and he said one of them was one of the best snacking tomatoes he's ever had. He could just bite into it like an apple. And I talked to my dad, and Dad said it was either an early girl early in the season or a Better Boy later in the season. And I remember they were really big and full, so we went with Better Boy because I think I've grown enough early girl. I do not think that's what we were dealing with. But the Better Boy is an amazing plant, and we're gonna go ahead and put that in right here. And I put the date on the back of those too. I have my little stick from a couple days ago to push these seeds in. I just always make sure they go down about as far as they can. And you can use anything. I even brought out a little Allen wrench that would fit into that hole too, but I do like this stick here. Nothing wrong with using something from nature. Might spread disease, but you know what? If you want to give me crap about that, you can go right ahead. But so we've got those going. Now we're getting into some of my favorite paste tomatoes. I ordered Amish Paste from Burpee. Ooh, that's an ugly one. Hey, out of here. And I am going to be running 10 San Marzanos in my garden this year. My entire brick raised bed that's against the little neighbor's garage over here, they actually, that one will be filled with San Marzano. There's space for 10 plants that are spaced out really nicely, and I've run them there for the last 2 years. So San Marzano, and it looks very Italian. Once you see the videos from this summer, you'll see why I do it. It looks very Italian by the end of the summer with these vines growing up the side of what looks like a stucco old abandoned garage. But anyways, I enjoy that stuff. But let's go ahead and get out the San Marzanos. And Burpee came in some pretty boring packaging, if you ask me, but at this point I'm happy to go ahead and plant these, keeping all these other ones in my pocket to keep them dry. It's just barely spitting. I call this the Portland mist. This is what we deal with up here a lot. It doesn't necessarily rain all the time, but it's really misty. All right, and we got San Marzano. let's see if that gets the job done. And again, we're just going to go with 2 per plug. And if you get 3 in there, I wouldn't really worry about it. I generally do 2 in each plug just to make sure that they have a good chance of getting 100% germination per plug. All I need is 1 out of the 2, and usually I get better germination than that. And I got 1 more there. Looks like I just missed it. I gotta get 1 more out of here. Do the Jacques tickle. It's a shout out to Jacques from Jacques in the Garden and Epic Gardening. Again, big shout out to the whole YouTube community. Really happy to be here with you guys, and I hope that I'm a welcome addition. Overall, a lot of people have inspired me over time. My dad, my mom. I come from a family of dairy ranchers back in the day and gardeners. But overall, I get inspiration a lot from these guys on YouTube, guys and girls on YouTube. The Pepper Geek is one that I forgot to mention before. I love those guys. They are a wonderful couple, super knowledgeable. Of course, James Prigioni, and I did look that up. There is no L in it, so it's James Prigioni, but he's awesome. And let's see, Millennial Gardener, Epic Gardening and Epic Homesteading, and again, Jacques in the Garden. But overall, thank you again to the whole community out there, and really appreciate you guys putting in your efforts so that the rest of us can learn. But anyways, that is it for the San Marzano. We'll put that one back in our pocket. And we'll put out our handy little thing there. And next up, we have the Amish Paste. I'm doing another Amish Paste. Again, this is a year that I'm experimenting a lot with different types of Amish Paste. We're gonna go ahead and put in Amish Paste. And again, for any of you out there that haven't researched the Amish Paste, it is an indeterminate style tomato. It is super prolific, and what you're gonna find is that the stems on these things are super thick, and they feed into what'll end up sometimes being like an ox heart sized fruit. So ultimately, you're gonna end up with some really easy stuff to cook from and use, as far as peeling and utilizing in sauces. It is a sauce tomato along with the San Marzano. That's part of why I grow it. I do a lot of Italian sauces, like I talked about in the other video. And so these things lend themselves well to that. I find with the Amish Paste that essentially it cuts down on my work in the kitchen, and that's part of why I love it. It also has a really unique flavor profile, and it's just so meaty and beautiful. I'll try to maybe throw in a shot from last year of some of the Amish Paste that I had peeled and cut so that you guys can see just how meaty and big they are compared to other things, but they're a really neat tomato for canning and sauces. So just push those in again. And I did look on my first video there, you saw that I had planted tomatoes and then also some radishes. So the one, of course, the one thing that was coming up, or one plant that was coming up the fastest from this was a radish, of course. So when I looked, it definitely wasn't a tomato. Tomato is gonna take a lot longer than one day. But the radish came up in one day, less than 24 hours. All right, we're all tucked in there. Amish Paste. And that's our second round for this season. And now we're going with the Brandy Boy. I got this one from Burpee also. Again, pretty boring seed packet, if you ask me. We're gonna finish this up because it is starting to mist a little bit more. But at this point, we have 4 more varieties. I've got a bulk of my tomatoes that I'm going to grow this year now propagating, so we'll see how we do as far as germination. But like I said, with these peat moss plugs, I have great luck, and then I generally get them into a 4-inch pot. At this point, folks, I'm going to sign off. I hope you have a wonderful Sunday. Please remember to go ahead and hit the like and subscribe button if you did like the content we're giving you today. But overall, just go ahead and please continue to check out the channel. We're only going to get better at this, and overall, I'm learning a lot right now and just really enjoying talking to you guys, and I hope you enjoy what I'm doing too. So hope you guys have a good one, and we'll catch you next time at Graybeard Gardening. Thanks again.